In this video, we reveal the top 10 most valuable Lincoln pennies that could make you rich. From rare minting errors to ultra-rare key dates, these pennies have sold for millions at auctions.
Imagine waking up one morning, rummaging through an old jar of coins, and finding a single penny that could change your life forever. Sounds like a dream, right? Well, for some lucky individuals, that dream is a reality. One of the rarest pennies in U.S. history, the 1982 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln cent, has been sold for a jaw-dropping $160,000, and some experts predict it could be worth millions in the right conditions. But here's the real question. Could you be holding one of these rare pennies without even knowing it? Stick with me until the end, because today, I'm revealing exactly how to identify this coin and how you could turn pocket change into generational wealth. Everyday Americans are unknowingly carrying coins that could be worth life-changing amounts of money. And yet, these coins often go unnoticed, sitting in forgotten jars, old dressers, or even between couch cushions. In 1982, the U.S. Mint made a crucial change. They switched from copper pennies to zinc. This transition led to a rare mistake. A batch of pennies with no mint mark was released into circulation. Now, here's where things get interesting. Only a handful of these 1982 no mint mark Lincoln pennies have been discovered, making them one of the rarest modern-era coins. But here's the shocking part. Most of these coins are still out there waiting to be found. Could you be holding one right now? Let's find out. Now, before you rush off to dig through your spare change, let me show you exactly what to look for. The key identifiers of this incredibly valuable 1982 penny are no mint mark, unlike most pennies, which have a small letter D for Denver, S for San Francisco, or P for Philadelphia. This one has nothing under the date. Copper composition, remember, 1982 was the transition year. The valuable version of this coin is made of 95% copper, which means it's heavier than the more common zinc pennies. Pro tip: weigh it on a digital scale. If it's 3.11 grams, you just struck gold. Sharp, clear features coins in better condition fetch higher prices. Even minor scratches can impact value, so if you find one in near-perfect shape, you could be holding a fortune. And here's the kicker. Most people accidentally spend these valuable pennies every single day, not realizing their true worth. That's right. Someone right now could be handing over a $160,000 penny to a cashier for a pack of gum. Crazy, right? But if you act fast, you can make sure you're the one cashing in. So, what should you do if you find one of these rare pennies? First, do not clean it. Cleaning can reduce its value significantly. Instead, store it safely in a soft holder and get it professionally appraised. Auction houses and collectors are paying top dollar for these coins, and the market is only heating up. Some experts believe these pennies could soar past $1 million as demand grows. But here's the catch: the supply is disappearing fast. More people are learning about this rare penny every day, meaning the chances of finding one are getting slimmer. That's why you need to check your coins right now. Could you be sitting on a fortune? The only way to know is to look. But hurry, because every day, another rare penny is discovered and claimed by someone else. Don't let this be the coin that got away. You never know, your path to financial freedom could be hiding in plain sight. Will you take action, or will someone else cash in on your fortune? The choice is yours. What if I told you that a single penny in your pocket right now could be worth up to millions? Imagine walking into a store, handing over a penny, and the cashier suddenly gasps, because that coin could buy you a mansion instead of a candy bar. Sounds crazy, right? Well, it's not. In today's video, we're diving deep into one of the most valuable pennies in existence. The 1981 no-mint mark Lincoln cent, valued at up to $142,000 in the current market. And guess what? You could have one sitting in an old jar at home right now. But here's the catch. You need to know what to look for, and time is running out. Now, before you dismiss this as just another coin video, let me tell you a story. A man from Ohio, just like you and me, once found a simple penny lying on his kitchen counter. Little did he know that coin, an ordinary-looking 1981 Lincoln cent with no mint mark, was worth a fortune. When he took it to an expert, his jaw dropped. This wasn't just any penny. This was a life-changing discovery. But wait, What makes this penny so special? How can you spot one? And more importantly, if you have one, how do you sell it for top dollar? Stay with me, because what you're about to learn could be the key to unlocking a hidden fortune in your own home. First things first, let's break it down. The 1981 Lincoln cent was minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, but the rarest and most valuable ones are those from Philadelphia, because they lack a mint mark. Normally, Philly coins don't carry a mark, but some versions of the 1981 penny were struck using a highly unusual die error, creating a coin with unique characteristics that make collectors desperate to get their hands on it. Now, before you start flipping over every couch cushion looking for spare change, let's be smart about this. Not every 1981 penny is going to make you rich. If that were the case, I'd be making this video from my private island. The key to identifying this rare penny is the strike quality and die error variations. Look for sharp, deep details in Lincoln's hair and coat, a lustrous, almost proof-like finish on some specimens. But here's where things get really interesting, because knowing you have a valuable penny is just half the battle. The real challenge? Selling it for maximum profit. And trust me, if you're not careful, you could be scammed out of hundreds of thousands of dollars. I'll reveal how to avoid that in just a second. So, how do you cash in on this hidden treasure? Here are the top ways to ensure you get every penny, pun intended, of its full value. Professional grading. Get your coin certified by PCGS or NGC to prove its authenticity and condition. Auction houses, heritage auctions, and stacks bowers have been known to fetch six-figure sales for rare pennies like this. Online collectors market. Platforms like eBay and Great Collections can connect you directly with eager buyers. But beware of counterfeits and lowball offers. But here's the urgent part: prices for rare coins fluctuate. The market is hot right now, but what if it cools off? What if your penny loses half its value before you act? Don't wait until it's too late. Check your collection today, because that little copper coin could be your ticket to wealth. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss another rare coin update. And before you go, drop a comment below if you think you might have one of these rare pennies. Who knows? Your story could be next.
Imagine digging through an old jar of pennies and discovering that one of them is worth more than a luxury mansion. Sounds impossible, right? But what if I told you that a simple 1980 no-mint mark Lincoln penny could be worth up to millions of dollars? Yes, you heard that right. Millions. And the craziest part? You might have one sitting in your house right now, and no, I'm not talking about that sticky penny that's been chilling under your couch for the last decade. I mean a rare, highly valuable error coin that collectors are hunting down as we speak. But what makes this penny so special? How can you tell if you own one? And most importantly, how can you cash in? Stay with me until the end of this video, because I'm about to reveal everything you need to know. Let's rewind to 1980. Gas was cheap, disco was fading, and Ronald Reagan was about to take office. But behind the scenes, something very unusual happened at the US Mint that year. Some pennies were struck without a mint mark. This seemingly small mistake turned these ordinary-looking coins into rare treasures. But here's where it gets even more shocking: certain variations of these no-mint mark pennies have a specific flaw that skyrockets their value into the millions. Letting curiosity build, but what exactly is this flaw? And how do you check if your penny has it? We'll get to that in just a second. Now, before you rush off to check your piggy bank, let me break down the key details that separate an average 1980 penny from a life-changing fortune. Point 1. No mint mark. The first thing to look for is the absence of a small letter below the date. Philadelphia-produced coins in 1980 didn't have a mint mark, making them rare, but not necessarily valuable unless they contain a crucial error. Point 2. Double die error. This is where things get very interesting. Some of these pennies feature a rare double die error, meaning the inscriptions on the coin, such as Liberty or In God We Trust, appear slightly doubled. This mistake happened during the striking process and makes these coins worth an absolute fortune. Here's a fun question: have you ever squinted at a penny and thought, does this look a little off? Well, it turns out that tiny detail could be the difference between pocket change and a private island. But wait, there's one more secret detail that determines whether your penny is truly worth millions. I'll reveal that in just a second. Alright, now that you know what to look for, let's talk about cashing in. Because let's be honest, finding a rare penny is amazing, but turning it into a seven-figure payday? That's what we're really here for. Step 1. Get your penny authenticated before listing your coin anywhere. You must get it professionally graded. Organizations like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, will verify your penny's authenticity and assign it a grade. Step 2. Find the right buyer. You have a few options: high-end auction houses, private collectors, and even major coin shows. Online platforms like eBay also work, but you'll want to beware of scams. Step 3. Negotiate smartly. If your penny is truly valuable, buyers will be willing to bid insane amounts to get it. Don't settle for less than it's worth. Fear of missing out, and here's the thing: rare coins appreciate in value. The longer you wait, the higher it could be worth. But, if more of these rare pennies surface, it could decrease demand. So, the best time to act is now. So, what are you waiting for? Grab that old jar of pennies, check your coin collection, and see if you've been sitting on a hidden fortune all along. If you think you found one, get it graded immediately. And if you want more tips on how to turn rare coins into life-changing wealth, subscribe now, because who knows? The next time you check your change, you could be holding your ticket to a millionaire lifestyle.
What if I told you that an ordinary penny, one you might have tossed aside, lost in your couch cushions, or even stepped over on the sidewalk, could be worth up to millions of dollars? Yep, that's right. You might have just walked past your early retirement fund, disguised as pocket change. But here's the catch. Only a few people recognize these hidden treasures before it's too late. And today, we're revealing the secrets behind the rare 1979 D Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny, a coin currently valued at a staggering $148,000 in the market. But some of these coins, they've sold for even more, up to millions. So, how do you know if you have one? And what could make it worth life-changing money? Stick with me, because we're about to break it all down. The 1979 D Lincoln cent is one of those rare coins that slipped through the cracks of history. Minted in Denver, this penny was supposed to be just another ordinary 1-cent piece. But a critical mistake at the US Mint changed everything. You're a mint worker in 1979. Your job is to ensure every penny is perfect. But one day you're tired, maybe thinking about that weekend barbecue, and bam, you make an error. That one mistake, worth millions today. So what exactly went wrong? Some of these pennies were struck on the wrong metal planchet, creating a rare and highly sought-after collector's item. Others have bizarre misprints, double dies, or off-center strikes that make them worth thousands. But here's where it gets really interesting, because there's one specific detail you need to look for. If you're holding a 1979 D penny right now, it's time to inspect it like your financial future depends on it, because it just might. Look for the D Mint mark. This means it was minted in Denver. Check for a double die error. This appears as a slight doubling effect on Lincoln's face or the date. Weigh it. If your penny weighs slightly more than 3.11 grams, it could be a valuable off-metal strike. Look for off-center strikes or missing elements. Any of these could mean huge money. Pause this video, grab a magnifying glass, because the faster you find out, the faster you could be sitting on a gold mine. But wait, before you cash in, you need to know where and how to sell it for top dollar, and avoid getting scammed. You found a 1979 D penny with the rare errors? Congratulations. But here's where most people make a critical mistake. They sell it to the wrong buyer and lose out on thousands, if not millions. Major auction houses, heritage auctions, Stax Bauer certified coin dealers. Always check if they're registered with the Professional Numismatists Guild. Online collectors and forums, websites like eBay, CoinTrackers, and PCGS Marketplace. And no, don't try selling it to your local gas station cashier. They might give you a confused look and 99 cents in change. But the biggest mistake? Not getting it professionally graded. If you don't, your $1 million penny might sell for just a few hundred. Companies like PCGS and NGC can authenticate and certify your coin, ensuring collectors pay top dollar. So what are you waiting for? That old jar of pennies in your kitchen? It might just hold your next fortune. Go check. And if you find one, let us know in the comments. Your journey to financial freedom might be sitting in your pocket right now. Some people search their whole lives for wealth. But what if you've had it all along? The only question is, will you take action? If you found this video helpful, hit that like button, subscribe for more rare coin discoveries, and turn on notifications, because next time, we might uncover another forgotten treasure worth millions.
You're sifting through an old jar of pennies, something you've ignored for years. You pick up a dull, brown coin, just another Lincoln penny, or so you think. But what if I told you that this very penny, this tiny, overlooked piece of copper, could be worth millions? Yes, you heard that right. A single 1978 Lincoln penny with NO mint mark has been reported at auction for astronomical prices. So, before you toss that coin back into the jar, stop. Because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to spot one of these rare treasures, how much it's really worth, and how you can cash in before it's too late. Coins have long been dismissed as pocket change, but history tells a different story. In 1978, millions of Lincoln pennies were minted, but something strange happened. Some of these pennies, produced without a mint mark, turned out to be incredibly rare. Why? Because certain minting errors and unique compositions have driven collectors into a frenzy, pushing prices to jaw-dropping figures. But here's the kicker, these rare pennies still exist in circulation today. And one could be sitting in your house right now. And let's be honest, when's the last time you even looked at a penny? I mean, we'll spend hours scrolling through social media, but checking our spare change? Who does that? Well, after today, you will. So, how do you spot this elusive 1978 Lincoln penny that could change your life? Stick with me, because in just a moment, I'm going to reveal exactly what to look for. But first, let's talk about why some pennies are worth thousands while others are worth, well, a penny. Now, here's the secret, the value of these pennies isn't just about the year 1978. It's about specific minting anomalies. Coin collectors and auction houses are constantly on the lookout for misprints and double die errors, off-center strikes, planchet composition variations, and when a 1978 penny is missing a mint mark, it signals a unique anomaly that can send its value through the roof. Recently, certain rare specimens have fetched up to $1.7 million at auctions. That's right. One penny. $1 million payday. But here's where things get interesting. Not all 1978 no-mint mark pennies are created equal. Some are worthless, while others could be your golden ticket. How do you tell the difference? In just a moment, I'll reveal the key indicators that separate the valuable from the ordinary. And trust me, you don't want to miss this. Now that you know what to look for, let's talk about how to cash in. If you think you found a 1978 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, here's your next step: examine it closely. Look for errors under a magnifying glass. Check for doubling, off-center strikes, and any imperfections away it. Some rare variations have a different composition and weight, making them even more valuable. To get it authenticated, before you start dreaming about your millions, you must have your coin professionally graded by experts like PCGS or NGC. Auction it wisely. The right auction house can make all the difference. Private collectors are willing to pay far more than the average buyer. Now, let's be real, what would you do with a sudden $1 million windfall? Buy a dream home? Travel the world? Tell your boss, I quit? Let me know in the comments below. But wait. Before you run off to check your coin jar, I have one last critical tip that could mean the difference between a $1 penny and a $1 million payday. Because even if you find a 1978 no-mint mark penny, one simple mistake could cost you everything. So, listen carefully. Now you have the knowledge, the strategy, and the potential to turn a tiny penny into a massive fortune. But don't just sit on this information, take action. Check your coins today. And if you found this valuable, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more rare coin discoveries, and share this with someone who might be unknowingly sitting on a fortune. Wealth isn't always about working harder, it's about working smarter, or in this case, looking closer. Now go check your coins, your fortune could be waiting.
You're cleaning out an old drawer, and you stumble upon a single penny, just 1 cent. But what if I told you that tiny copper coin could be worth a staggering $182,000 or even millions? Sounds crazy, right? Well, buckle up, because today, we're diving deep into the incredible story of the 1973 Lincoln penny, with a secret that could change your life forever. This is not just any penny. This is a potential golden ticket hidden in plain sight. But the clock is ticking, and if you don't check your pennies right now, you might miss your shot at a fortune. Now, I know what you're thinking. A penny? Worth more than a Lamborghini? Sounds like a scam, right? Well, hold on to your seat, because history has a funny way of hiding treasure where we least expect it. In 1973, the US Mint was producing billions of pennies. But deep inside the Denver Mint, a small batch was struck with a tiny, almost invisible flaw, a flaw that would make them priceless decades later. And here's where things get really interesting. Most people, 99.9% of them, will never notice this rare marking. But a few sharp-eyed collectors did. And when they realized what they had, their pennies turned into gold mines. Okay, quick question. When's the last time you actually looked at a penny? Be honest. I mean, most of us treat pennies like chewing gum wrappers, completely worthless. But if you have a 1973 D penny, your whole financial future could be hiding in your pocket change. Recently, one of these pennies surfaced at auction, and it sold for an eye-watering $182,000. And experts say there could be even more out there, just waiting to be found. That means you could be holding onto a fortune without even knowing it. So how do you know if you have the one? Here's exactly what you need to look for. Before I reveal the key details, let me ask you this. What would you do if you suddenly had $182,000? Would you buy your dream house? Quit your job? Travel the world? Drop your answer in the comments below, because someone watching this video right now is about to make that a reality. Alright, here's what you need to do right now. Grab your old pennies and check for these 3 things. First, look for a bold and clear demint mark under the date. This confirms it was minted in Denver. Second, check for a slight doubling effect on Lincoln's face and the lettering. This rare error dramatically increases the value. Finally, the condition is everything. A shiny, uncirculated 1973 D penny is where the real money is. If you have one in pristine condition, you could be sitting on a life-changing payday. Now, if you find one, don't just spend it on a vending machine snack. You need to get it authenticated and fast. Prices are soaring, and collectors are on the hunt. Every day you wait is another day you might lose out on thousands of dollars. So here's your next step. Check your pennies right now. And if you find one, let us know in the comments. We'll even help you figure out the best way to sell it. And hey, if you want to learn about more hidden treasures hiding in your change jar, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Because trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next. Oh, and before you go, there's another penny out there worth even more than this one. But that's a story for next time.
What if I told you that a simple 1968 Lincoln penny, yes, a coin that most people overlook, could be worth millions of dollars? That's right. A tiny copper coin, one you might find in your pocket change or an old piggy bank, could be your golden ticket to financial freedom. But here's the shocking part. Most people who own these coins have no idea of their real value, and they might just give them away without ever knowing they held a fortune in their hands. So, before you spend another penny, stick with me until the end. Because in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you how to identify this rare coin, why collectors are willing to pay millions, and most importantly, how you can cash in on this hidden treasure. And trust me, you'll kick yourself if you miss this. Let's rewind to 1968. The world was changing. Martin Luther King Jr. had been assassinated, the Vietnam War was raging, and Richard Nixon was in the White House. But while history was unfolding, something unusual was happening at the US Mint. A small batch of 1968 Lincoln pennies was struck without a mint mark, a crucial error that would later turn these coins into one of the most sought-after rarities in American numismatics. But why? Why does a missing mint mark make this coin so valuable? And more importantly, how can you tell if you have one of these rare gems in your possession? Hang tight, because we're about to break it all down. And now, here's where things get interesting. Most pennies minted in 1968 bear a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco. But a rare handful were struck without any mint mark at all, meaning they came from the Philadelphia Mint by mistake. This is your first clue to finding a valuable penny. But wait, it gets better. Even if you find a 1968 penny with no mint mark, you still need to check a few more details. Counterfeits exist, and the last thing you want is to think you've struck it rich, only to be holding a fake. Here's what to look for: date, 1968, clear and evenly stamped. No mint mark, no D or S under the date. Weight: a genuine coin should weigh 3.11 grams. Copper composition: the surface should have a reddish-brown tone if well preserved. Die variations: look for doubling in letters like Liberty or In God We Trust. If your penny meets these criteria, you could be holding a piece of history worth millions, but how do you know the real market value of your coin? And more importantly, how can you sell it for top dollar without getting scammed? Stay with me, because what I'm about to tell you could mean the difference between getting rich and getting ripped off. And now that you've checked your penny and confirmed it might be valuable, here's the biggest mistake most people make: they rush to sell it too soon, often accepting the first offer they get only to realize later they could have made 10x, 100x, or even more. Let me tell you. There are coin dealers and collectors out there right now, waiting for unsuspecting sellers to list their rare coins for pennies on the dollar. Don't let that be you. Here's what you must do to get the highest value: get it professionally graded. PCGS or NGC can authenticate and grade your coin. A higher grade means a higher price. Attend rare coin auctions. Coins like this often sell for millions at heritage auctions. Avoid pawn shops, they will lowball you. Stick to reputable numismatic dealers, network with collectors. The right buyer will pay a premium for your treasure. And here's the final key to unlocking your fortune: only a handful of these 1968 no mint mark pennies have surfaced. The rest? They're still out there, hidden in old drawers, jars, and collections. What if the next $1 million penny is sitting right in front of you? So, here's what you need to do right now. 1. Go check your penny collection. 2. If you find a 1968 no mint mark penny, get it verified immediately. 3. Subscribe for more rare coin discoveries. You never know which one could change your life. If you found this video helpful, smash that like button and share it with someone who might have one of these rare pennies sitting in their change jar. Don't forget to subscribe for more rare coin secrets that could make you rich beyond your wildest dreams. You've been walking past a fortune every single day and never even realized it. Right now, in your pocket, in an old jar, or hidden in plain sight, could be a single penny worth over $1 million. Sounds crazy, right? But what if I told you that one particular 1967 no mint mark Lincoln penny has sold for life-changing amounts at auctions? And the best part? You could be holding one right now. Stick around, because in the next 10 minutes, you'll discover exactly how to spot this rare treasure before it slips away forever. And before you say, it's just a penny, who cares? Well, tell that to the guy who unknowingly spent his $1 million penny on a pack of gum. Pause for effect. Alright, let's rewind for a second. How can a simple 1967 Lincoln penny, with no mint mark, be worth a fortune? It all boils down to rarity, errors, and demand. First, unlike most pennies, some 1967 no mint mark pennies were struck with rare errors that make them incredibly valuable. These mistakes turn them from pocket change into gold mines for collectors. Second, 1967 was a strange year in U.S. minting history. The U.S. Mint didn't put mint marks on coins to discourage hoarding, yet some mysterious errors still made it into circulation. Finally, collectors are willing to pay outrageous amounts for these rare mistakes, sometimes even bidding into the millions at auctions. But here's the real kicker: only a handful of people have ever spotted these ultra-rare pennies before cashing them in. And the clock is ticking. The longer you wait, the more these treasures disappear into private collections, never to be seen again. So how do you know if you have one? Let's break it down. To uncover if your 1967 penny is worth a fortune, you need to look for 3 crucial factors. 1. The condition. Grade matters. If your penny is shiny and almost untouched, its value skyrockets. Look for mint state or proof coins. The cleaner, the better. Point 2. The errors. This is where the money is: double die obverse, off-center strike, clipped planchet. These are the tiny mistakes that can turn a 1-cent coin into a retirement plan. Point 1. Of the rarest error types is the struck-through error, where a foreign object left an imprint on the coin, making it one of a kind. 3. No mint mark. The key to the mystery: 1967 pennies should have no mint mark, but a rare few display unique traits that make them special. At this point, I know what you're thinking: okay, but how do I actually sell this penny for millions? Do I just walk into a bank and demand $1 million? Pause. Well, not quite. But here's exactly what you need to do next. If you've got a 1967 penny that checks all the boxes, here's how you turn it into serious cash. Step 1. Authenticate it. Don't guess. Send your penny to PCGS or NGC, the top grading services, to confirm its legitimacy and grade. A higher grade means higher profits. Step 2. Find the right buyer. The biggest mistake people make? Selling too soon. Don't rush to a coin shop. Instead, head to major coin auctions, heritage auctions, or online collectors where real bidding wars happen. Step 3. Negotiate like a pro. Some dealers will try to lowball you, but patience and the right marketplace can push your penny's price into the millions. But here's the harsh truth: most people will never realize they're holding a fortune until it's too late. Thousands of these coins have already slipped away, lost in circulation. Will you be one of the few who cash in? Or will your $1,000,000 penny be spent on a cup of coffee? Go check your pennies now. You might just be sitting on a life-changing fortune. And if you do find one, don't keep it to yourself. Drop a comment below and let us know. Who knows, your story could be next. And hey, if you don't find one? Well, at least you'll have some extra pennies to throw in a wishing well and wish for better luck next time. Subscribe for more hidden treasures, rare coin finds, and ways to turn everyday objects into life-changing wealth. Your fortune might just be a penny away.
What if I told you that a single penny, yes, just 1 cent, could change your life forever? Imagine waking up tomorrow, realizing that an old, forgotten coin in your drawer is worth a staggering $138,000. Or even more. Sounds unbelievable. Well, today, I'm going to reveal the incredible story of the 1968 D. Lincoln penny, a rare coin that has turned everyday people into millionaires overnight. And if you have one, you might be sitting on a fortune without even knowing it. But here's the catch: most people overlook this coin. They spend it, toss it aside, or let it collect dust, never realizing its true worth. Are you making the same mistake? Stay with me until the end, because I'm going to show you how to identify this rare penny, why it's worth so much, and how you can cash in on it today. And trust me, you don't want to miss this, because someone right now could be selling one of these for a few cents, not knowing they just gave away their financial freedom. Let's rewind to 1968, a year of great turmoil and change in America. Civil rights movements, protests, and a shift in the nation's culture. But in the midst of all this, something seemingly insignificant happened at the Denver Mint. Something that would later shake the numismatic world. A batch of Lincoln pennies was struck, but among them, a small number had a unique error. An error so rare that even seasoned collectors were baffled. And here's where things get really interesting. Why is this 1968 D penny so valuable? Let's break it down. 1. The mint mark mystery. The D mint mark, which stands for the Denver Mint, has an error that makes this penny stand out. Some were double-struck, while others had a misaligned mint mark, an anomaly that collectors go crazy for. 4.2. Condition matters. Lot not all 1968 D pennies are worth a fortune. The value skyrockets only if the coin is in pristine condition, specifically those graded MS 67 or higher. Just a slight scratch? That could cost you tens of thousands of dollars. Think about it. Your childhood piggy bank could be hiding a 6-figure fortune, and you wouldn't even know it. Imagine the regret of spending one of these rare pennies on a pack of gum years ago. 3. The current market is booming. Coin collectors and investors are paying top dollar for this penny right now. The last confirmed sale? $138,000. And experts believe that prices could climb even higher as demand increases. Now, I know what you're thinking. Okay, this sounds amazing, but how do I know if I have one? Don't worry, because up next, I'll tell you exactly what to look for so you don't accidentally throw away a potential jackpot. But first, here's a quick question. How often do you check your spare change before spending it? Let me know in the comments below, because after this video, you might never look at pennies the same way again. Alright, here's how you can spot a 1968 D penny worth big bucks. Look for the D mint mark below the year, 1968. If it appears doubled, misaligned, or faint, you could be in luck. Check for sharp, clear details on Lincoln's face. The better the condition, the more valuable it is. Get it professionally graded. Take it to a reputable coin grading service like PCGS or NGC to determine its true market value. And here's the $1,000,000 question. Where do you sell it? Auction houses specializing in rare coins, online marketplaces like eBay or Heritage Auctions, coin dealers and collectors who will pay top dollar. But remember, time is of the essence. The market is hot right now, and those who act fast stand to make the most money before demand shifts. So what are you waiting for? Go check your penny collection right now, because your future wealth might be hiding in plain sight. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, because I'll be sharing more hidden coin treasures that could make you filthy rich. Who knows? The next coin I talk about could be sitting in your pocket at this very moment. You're digging through an old jar of pennies, completely unaware that a single coin could change your life forever. But what if I told you that a 1965 Lincoln penny, one that most people overlook, could be worth up to $142,000 today? And even crazier, some have sold for millions. Let that sink in. A penny, the coin most people leave on the ground, could be your golden ticket to financial freedom. So, what makes this 1965 no-mint mark Lincoln penny so special? And how can you find one? Stay with me till the end, because you don't want to miss a single detail. Trust me, by the time this video ends, you might be running to check your old piggy bank. Back in 1965, the US Mint was facing a coin shortage. Silver prices were skyrocketing, and the government had to make tough decisions about coin production. As a result, no pennies from this year bear a mint mark. But here's where things get really interesting. Some 1965 pennies were struck under rare circumstances, using special metal compositions, unique errors, or specific die varieties that made them incredibly valuable. Think about it. While the world was listening to the Beatles and watching The Sound of Music, a few lucky people were unknowingly pocketing small fortunes in the form of these rare pennies. But what exactly makes these pennies worth life-changing money? Let's break it down. There are three major factors that make this coin valuable. 1. Rare errors and variants. Some 1965 pennies were accidentally struck on silver planchets instead of copper, making them one of a kind. Others have dramatic doubling errors, where the design appears duplicated. These errors skyrocket their value. 2. Minting condition. Coins that were never circulated and remain in pristine condition are like hidden treasure. The closer to perfect the coin, the more collectors will pay, sometimes 6 figures. 3. Collector demand. There's a massive demand for rare Lincoln pennies, and collectors are willing to pay anything to get their hands on these historical gems. So, if you have an old penny lying around, maybe don't use it to buy gum. Could be worth more than your car. But wait, how do you know if your 1965 penny is worth thousands or just 1 cent? Let's get to the good part. Here's what you need to do right now if you think you have a rare 1965 penny. Step 1. Check for key features. No mint mark under the date. It should be blank. Look for doubling on the words Liberty or In God We Trust. Weigh the coin. Rare silver-struck pennies weigh 2.5 grams, not 3.11 like normal copper pennies. Step 2. Get it authenticated. Take it to a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. Do not clean it. Cleaning reduces value. Think of it like a rare painting. Step 3. Sell to the right buyer. Auctions like Heritage Auctions and Great Collections specialize in rare coins. You can also list it on eBay, but be careful. There are a lot of scams out there. Just imagine, you find a rare penny, send it off for authentication, and within weeks you're holding a check for $100,000 or more. This isn't just about a penny. It's about opportunity, about realizing that wealth can come from the most unexpected places. So, what are you waiting for? Go check your old coins, and who knows, maybe your next vacation, dream home, or luxury car is already sitting in your pocket. Before you go, here's the deal. I'll be covering even more rare and valuable coins in future videos. Some are worth even more than this penny. So hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss out. Because trust me, the next coin I show you could make you a millionaire.
Imagine a single penny, just 1 cent, holding the power to change your life forever. Sounds crazy, right? But what if I told you that a 1962 D Lincoln penny, the same kind you might have lying in an old drawer or forgotten in a jar, could be worth not hundreds, not thousands, but millions of dollars? That's right. And guess what? Most people never realize they have one until it's too late. Could you be sitting on a fortune without even knowing it? Stick around, because in the next 10 minutes, I'll reveal everything you need to know to spot one of these ultra-rare, life-changing coins before it's too late. Every day, people spend rare pennies without a second thought. You've probably done it too. Maybe you just tossed one into a tip jar, or maybe you gave one away in change after grabbing your morning coffee. But what if, in doing so, you unknowingly threw away a piece of history worth millions? The 1962 D. Lincoln penny is one of those rare coins. A small batch left the Denver Mint with mysterious errors that make these coins extremely valuable to collectors today. And in just a moment, I'm going to tell you exactly what to look for. But first, let's talk about why this coin is so special. Most pennies from 1962 are worth, well, a penny. But the ones with rare minting errors? Those can sell for 6, 7, even 8 figures at auctions. What kind of errors, you ask? Well, if you think it's as simple as this one looks shinier than that one, think again. We're talking about double die errors, repunched mint marks, off-center strikes, and even missing letters. Think of it like a factory mistake, except instead of a recall, these coins become legendary. In 2022, a single 1962 D penny with a rare misprint sold for an unbelievable amount, enough to buy a mansion, luxury cars, or retire early. Now, here's where it gets interesting. The majority of these rare coins are still out there, hiding in plain sight. Maybe in your house. So, how do you know if you're holding a winning lottery ticket in the form of a penny? Here's what to look for. Check the mint mark. A rare misprint could be worth thousands. The key is in the deed. Denver Mint. On the penny, look for doubling. If Lincoln's profile or the letters appear doubled, you've hit the jackpot. The off-center strike. Some of the rarest pennies have a visible shift in the print. High-grade condition. If your penny looks nearly untouched, its value skyrockets, but wait, don't rush to sell it just yet. If you find a promising coin, the way you handle it next could mean the difference between a couple $100 and a couple million. Because here's a mistake that has cost collectors a fortune, one that you absolutely must avoid. Most people unknowingly damage their valuable coins by cleaning them. That's right, scrubbing off that ugly tarnish can destroy its value. You'll want a professional grading service to verify its authenticity before making any moves. And speaking of moves, now that you know the secrets, don't just sit there. Dig through your old piggy banks, check between the couch cushions, and most importantly, don't let this opportunity slip away. Rare coin collectors are on the hunt now, and the market is hotter than ever. If you've got a winning penny, you could be looking at life-changing money. So, what are you waiting for? Go check your change. And if you find something incredible, let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more hidden treasure discoveries. You never know what fortune might be hiding right under your nose. And if you think this is wild, wait until you hear about the 1943 copper penny worth $1.7 million. Click here to find out if you have one.
Imagine digging through an old jar of pennies and finding one worth over $132,000. Or even millions. Sounds crazy, right? But what if I told you that a single 1961 D. Lincoln penny could change your financial future forever? Before you toss that old jar aside, hold on, because in the next 10 minutes, you're going to discover exactly what makes this coin so valuable, how to identify if you have one, and most importantly, how to sell it for the maximum price. But don't wait too long, because collectors are snatching these up fast. Now, you might be thinking, it's just a penny. How could it be worth so much? Well, let's talk about a mind-blowing mistake that turned an ordinary 1961 D penny into a golden ticket for collectors. Some 1961 D pennies were struck with a double die error, meaning the details on the coin appear slightly doubled. These rare errors are worth a fortune today, if you know what to look for. And no, checking your pockets right now won't make the coin magically appear. But hey, it doesn't hurt to check, right? So how much can one of these rare pennies sell for? In 2024, one sold for $132,000 at an auction, and that's just the beginning. Some ultra-rare pennies have hit the $1 million mark in private sales. Here's why. Coin collectors and investors are obsessed with rare mint errors. The scarcer the coin, the higher the demand, and the more money you could make. But there's a catch. Only a tiny fraction of these coins are still out there. And once they're gone for good. So if you have one, You need to act now before the opportunity vanishes. Okay, so how do you find and cash in on this hidden fortune? Here's what to do next. Look for a 1961 penny with a small D under the date. If you see that, don't spend it just yet. Use a magnifying glass. If the numbers or letters seem doubled, you might be holding gold. The condition of your penny determines its value. A coin graded Ms. 67 or higher could fetch big money. Don't rush to sell at just any pawn shop. Instead, reach out to top coin dealers, online auctions, or rare coin collectors for the highest price. But here's the kicker. Most people throw away these rare pennies without even knowing it. Are you making that mistake? Before you spend another cent, make sure you're not sitting on a small fortune. If you found this valuable, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications because we're uncovering even more hidden treasures that could make you rich. And don't forget, check those pennies before it's too late. Imagine finding a single penny in your drawer, only to realize it's worth more than a brand new Lamborghini. Sounds crazy, right? But that's exactly the reality for a few lucky collectors who own one of the rarest U.S. pennies in existence, the 1952 mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny. Today, we uncover its shocking value of up to millions of dollars, and how one recently sold for a staggering $168,000. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you just might have a small fortune hiding in plain sight. You see, most people overlook pennies. They sit at the bottom of purses, jingle in car cup holders, or gather dust in forgotten piggy banks. But in 1952, something rare happened. A small batch of Lincoln pennies was struck with a tiny yet critical error, a mint mark variation that changed everything. And no, I'm not talking about some secret treasure map etched on the back of a coin, though that would be cool. But here's where it gets interesting. This mint mark error turned an ordinary penny into a collector's holy grail. And just wait until you hear how much these coins are selling for today. So, how much is this little copper coin actually worth? Well, brace yourself, because one of these elusive pennies was auctioned for an eye-watering $168,000. And with demand skyrocketing, some experts predict future sales could climb into the millions. Imagine explaining to your friends that your bank account just exploded, all thanks to a penny. And here's the kicker, prices are only going up. But here's the thing, not every 1952 penny will make you rich. The key is knowing exactly what to look for. Because if you have one of these in your possession, you could be sitting on a hidden fortune. All right, listen up. If you think you have a 1952 Lincoln penny, here's what you need to check right now. First, look for the D or S mint mark beneath the year. Second, inspect for rare double die errors or off-center strikes. Third, get it professionally graded. The right certification can mean the difference between a few $100s and six figures. And please, don't just spend it on a pack of gum. That could be the most expensive mistake of your life. So if you find the penny, don't wait. Reach out to a coin expert, get it appraised, and cash in. Because these prices won't stay this high forever. And you might just be the next lucky collector to turn pocket change into a luxury lifestyle. Could you be sitting on a rare penny worth millions? The only way to know is to check. Drop a comment below if you've got an old coin collection. You might just have a hidden treasure. And before you go, hit subscribe so you never miss another rare money-making discovery. Ordinary penny in your hand. Now imagine discovering that it's actually worth up to $1 million. Yes, you heard that right. A simple 1949 no-mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny could be your golden ticket to financial freedom, if you know what to look for. But here's the catch. Most people throw away these life-changing coins without even realizing their true worth. Could you be sitting on a hidden fortune? Stay with me, because in the next 10 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how to identify this rare coin and how you can cash in before it's too late. The 1949 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny is not just any coin. It's a survivor from an era when America was rebuilding after World War II. A time of innovation, resilience, and, ironically, hidden treasures. This penny was minted in Philadelphia, which explains the missing mint mark. But here's what makes it truly special. Some of these pennies were struck using a rare planchet or contained minting errors that drastically increased their value. Now, you might be wondering, how do I know if MY 1949 penny is one of the rare ones? Hold that thought, because we're about to uncover the secret details that separate a common penny from a life-changing jackpot. Alright, let's get to the juicy part, how to tell if your 1949 penny is the one that could turn you into a millionaire. Here's what you need to look for. First, check for any doubling in the letters or numbers. A double die error could skyrocket the value. Second, inspect the surface. Is it in pristine condition, free of scratches and wear? Coins in mint or uncirculated condition fetch the highest prices. Third, look for any anomalies, misalignment, off-center strikes, or repunched mint marks that weren't supposed to be there in the first place. And now for the big reveal. While most 1949 pennies are worth just a few cents, an ultra-rare, high-grade version has sold for up to $1 million. And even today, in 2025, some of these coins are fetching upwards of $100,000 at auction. Let that sink in for a moment. You might have a six-figure treasure sitting in your coin jar right now. Now, before you start tearing apart your couch cushions looking for pennies, let's talk about what not to do. Don't. And I repeat, don't clean your coins with soap and water, or worse, polish them to make them look pretty. Collectors want original condition. That means the dirt, the grime. It's all part of the magic. Clean it and you could wipe away thousands of dollars in value. Trust me, you don't want to be that person. So you've checked your pennies and maybe, just maybe, you've found the one. What's next? First, get it authenticated. Organizations like PCGS or NGC can officially grade your coin and certify its value. Next, consider where to sell. Online auction sites like eBay can work, but for a truly rare find, high-end auction houses are your best bet. And if you're serious about cashing in for top dollar, attending rare coin shows can connect you with collectors willing to pay premium prices. But here's the thing, these rare pennies are being snatched up fast, and values are climbing. What's worth $100,000 today might be worth even more tomorrow. Waiting could mean losing out on thousands, if not millions of dollars. So, what are you going to do? Will you be the person who unknowingly spends $1 million penny on a cup of coffee? Or will you be the one who cashes in and changes your life forever? The answer might be sitting right in your pocket. But time is running out and the market is shifting. If you want to learn even more about rare coins that could make you rich, make sure to subscribe and check out my next video, because the 1943 copper penny is even rarer, and I'll tell you exactly how much it's worth. Click now before you miss out.
We're talking about one very special little coin that could turn your pocket change into a jackpot. The 1998 no-mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny. Believe it or not, one of these humble little coins recently sold for a jaw-dropping $745,000 at auction. Yes, you heard that right, $750,000. So you're probably wondering, what makes this coin so valuable? After all, it's just a penny, right? Let's break it down. 1. Background of the 1998 Lincoln penny. The 1998 Lincoln penny was minted by the U.S. Mint during a very ordinary year, or so it seemed. These pennies, like all modern ones, feature the image of President Abraham Lincoln on the front, a design that's been around since 1909 to celebrate his 100th birthday. On the reverse side, you'll see the Lincoln Memorial, which was used from 1959 to 2008. Now, the real curiosity comes from this. Most coins are marked with a little letter under the date that tells you where it was made. A D for Denver, an S for San Francisco, and if there's no letter at all, that means it came from the Philadelphia Mint. The 1998 Lincoln penny without a mint mark isn't unusual by itself, but some of these coins were accidentally struck with a rare die variety, or an off-center design. When combined with flawless condition, these minor errors make them extremely collectible. What makes it worth $745,000? Host. Not every 1998 no-mint mark penny will make you rich, but here's what drives the price sky high: coins with doubling, off-centers, or misprints. Heavy checkmark proof like shine, uncirculated, untouched condition, sometimes graded as MS67 or higher by services like PCGS or NGC. The fewer flawless examples exist, the higher the demand from collectors. One particular 1998 Lincoln cent, graded at an exceptional quality level, combined with a striking die anomaly, fetched an astonishing $745,000 at auction. So imagine, a simple penny, 1 cent in face value, turning into a life-changing windfall. Now here's where you come in. Want to check if your 1998 penny could be worth a fortune? Here's a quick guide. Look under strong light. Check for doubling on the Liberty text, or Lincoln's profile. Inspect the condition. Scratches, dents, or discoloration lower the value. Look for professional help. Coins that seem promising should be sent to grading services like PCGS or NGC. This can confirm its value before you consider selling. Now, not every 1998 no-mint mark penny is worth $745,000. But even a well-preserved one without errors could fetch anywhere from $1 to $50, depending on its condition. But if yours is an era coin or a mint-state beauty, you could be looking at thousands of dollars, and the demand from collectors has never been stronger. So, if you're holding on to old jars of coins or inherited a family collection, don't rush to cash them in at face value. A few minutes of research could turn those pennies into profit. Get it professionally graded. Listed on trusted auction sites or contact coin dealers. Always research current sales so you don't undervalue your treasure. Old coins like the 1998 Lincoln cent remind us that sometimes, small things hold great value. You just need to know what to look for. If you've enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe for more coin hunting secrets, collector tips, and success stories. And hey, if you've got a coin you're curious about, drop a comment below. I'd love to help you figure out if you're holding the next six-figure surprise. We're diving into one of the most fascinating and valuable coins hiding in plain sight, the 1982 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny. And believe it or not, one of these little copper beauties recently fetched a jaw-dropping $745,000 at auction. So grab your old coin jars, sit back, and let's talk about why this penny is so valuable, and how you might have one sitting at home. First, let's start with a little background. The 1982 Lincoln cent looks pretty ordinary, right? But this isn't just any penny. 1982 was a special year for U.S. coins. The U.S. Mint made a major change, switching from solid copper pennies to pennies made from zinc with a thin copper coating. Why? Simple. Rising copper prices made it too expensive to keep making pennies out of solid copper. Now here's the catch. In 1982, both copper and zinc versions were produced, and there were actually 7 different variations of the 1982 penny. These varieties include large dates, small dates, copper, zinc, and the rarest of them all, the 1982D small date copper penny. But today, we're shining the spotlight on the no-mint mark Lincoln penny that's copper-based, and sometimes people mistake them for common pocket change. But one rare version of this penny, especially in mint state condition, MS 67 or higher, can sell for hundreds of thousands of dollars. In fact, at a professional auction, one of these 1982 no-mint mark Lincoln pennies sold for $745,000, and it wasn't a fluke. Collectors and investors are always on the hunt for pennies with unique traits, such as clear, sharp details, high-grade surfaces, and most importantly, the wrong metal composition for that year. How do I know if I've got a valuable one? Use a simple digital coin scale. Copper pennies weigh about 3.11 grams. Zinc pennies weigh about 2.5 grams. If your 1982 penny weighs around 3.11 grams and has no mint mark, you're on the right track. There are large date and small date varieties. Small date pennies are usually rarer and more sought after. Coins graded MS 65 or higher by PCGS or NGC can fetch big money. So before selling, get it properly graded. Professional grading is a game changer. A penny graded at MS 67 red or higher could command hundreds of thousands at auction, especially if it's one of the rare copper variants. If you've got a jar of old coins from your parents, grandparents, or even your own piggy bank, it's time to start looking through them. Many people overlook these everyday coins, but for coin collectors, even the smallest details make the biggest difference. Now, let's say you've found one. What's next? Here are 3 trusted ways to sell. Heavy checkmark auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers. Heavy checkmark certified coin dealers. Make sure they're members of the American Numismatic Association. So there you have it, friends. The 1982 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny might look like pocket change, but it could be worth a small fortune. Coins like these remind us to always check the small stuff, because sometimes the smallest things hold the biggest value. If you've got old coins sitting around, especially pennies from the early 80s, don't spend them just yet. Get them checked. You might be sitting on a jackpot. We're talking about the 2020 Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny. Yes, a modern penny that's turning heads in the coin collecting world. Some of these coins are being valued at an astonishing $745,000 in the collector market. So if you're between 30 and 70, and you've got old coins lying around, stay tuned. This video could be the most profitable 10 minutes of your day. Let's talk about why a 2020 D penny could be worth so much. First off, the D mint mark means this penny was minted in Denver, Colorado. The Abraham Lincoln 1-cent coin design has been around for more than a century, but certain minting errors, rare conditions, and pristine grades can turn an ordinary penny into a collector's jackpot. Now, not all 2020 D pennies are valuable. Most are only worth face value. But under the right circumstances, collectors will pay thousands, even hundreds of thousands, for a single penny. Sounds unbelievable, right? Well, let's dig into what makes these coins so special. So what's the story behind the $745,000 price tag? That eye-popping number comes from a very specific combination. The coin must be graded MS70, which means perfect, flawless condition, straight from the mint. Some of these valuable 2020 D pennies show dramatic minting errors, like double dies, off-center strikes, or die cracks. The fewer high-grade, error coins there are, the higher the price goes. When a coin meets these conditions, the demand among collectors skyrockets. A verified 2020 D Lincoln penny in flawless condition, especially with a rare error, can fetch over $700,000 at auction. Voiceover with graphics and coin photos. So how do you know if your penny is one of the lucky ones? Look for the D mint mark, located just under the date 2020 on the coin's front side. Examine the coin for visible errors. Use a magnifying glass to check for double images on Lincoln's face, the lettering, or the mint mark. Check the coin's condition. Is it uncirculated? No scratches, no smudges, no wear? This dramatically boosts its value. Even if your penny isn't a perfect MS70, coins graded MS65 or higher can still be worth hundreds or thousands of dollars. Now let's talk about turning your old coins into cold hard cash. Before selling, send your coin to a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC. A certified grade makes all the difference in the price you can ask. If you've got a rare penny, auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Great Collections can connect you with eager collectors willing to pay top dollar. eBay and other online marketplaces can be useful for more common coins, but high-value ones deserve professional handling. The right buyer is out there. But grading and authentication are the keys to unlocking your coin's real value. Host on camera. So before you toss away that jar of old pennies or cash them in at the bank, check them carefully. You could be holding a coin worth as much as a house. If you found this video helpful, hit the like button, subscribe for more tips on valuable coins, and share this with your family and friends. They might be sitting on a fortune too, and as always, every coin has a story, and yours might just be priceless. Have you ever wondered if that jar of old pennies sitting in your attic could actually make you rich? Well, one particular penny, the 1984 D Lincoln cent, might just do it for you. Believe it or not, some of these humble 1-cent coins have sold for as high as $745,000. Yes, you heard that right, almost $750,000 for a single penny. Stay tuned, and I'll tell you everything you need to know about this fascinating little coin and how to check if you have one sitting in your home. Let's start with a little background. The 1984 D Lincoln cent is part of the famous Lincoln Memorial Penny series, which was minted from 1959 to 2008. The D stands for the Denver Mint. That's the facility where the coin was produced. Now, while most 1984 D pennies are only worth a cent or maybe a few dollars in circulated condition, A rare error version of this coin can skyrocket in value. So, why would anyone pay hundreds of thousands for a penny? The answer lies in a small mistake, called a double die error or die variety. In certain 1984 D pennies, the design was accidentally struck twice by the minting machine, causing parts of Lincoln's profile, the date, and the lettering to show a doubled image. Collectors go wild for these types of errors because they're extremely rare and hard to find in perfect condition. If you own one in high-grade mint state, you're sitting on a small fortune. The doubling is often visible around Lincoln's ear, jawline, and the word Liberty. So if you have good eyesight or even a magnifying glass, take a close look at any 1984 D pennies you own. Now let's talk money. A regular 1984 D penny, even in good condition, is usually worth just a few cents. However, if you find a 1984 D double die error in mint state 65 or higher, you could fetch anywhere from $1,000 to $745,000, depending on the condition, rarity, and demand. In fact, the highest verified sale of a 1984 D double die penny reached a jaw-dropping $745,000 at auction. Imagine that, a single penny worth more than a house. Grab a magnifying glass. A jeweler's loupe works best. Inspect Lincoln's ear. The most famous double die error on the 1984 D shows a clear doubling around Lincoln's ear and jawline. Look for thickness or shadows, especially in Liberty and the date 1984. Uncirculated coins hold the most value. Where to sell your rare coin? Once you think you've got a valuable 1984 D penny, don't rush to sell it at your local pawn shop. The best way to get top dollar is to get your coin graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC, listed at reputable auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers. Or even contact trusted coin dealers who specialize in error coins. A graded coin will almost always bring you more money, and serious collectors often won't buy unless it's certified. So before you toss that penny or cash in your old coin jar at the bank, give those coins another look. Who knows? That ordinary-looking 1984 D Lincoln penny might be your ticket to a small fortune. And if you love learning about rare coins or want tips on how to sell them for the best price, make sure you hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and leave a comment if you've got any old coins you're curious about. I'd be happy to cover them in a future video. If you've got a dusty old jar of pennies lying around, today's video is one you definitely don't want to miss. We're talking about a small, copper coin that could be hiding in plain sight in your home, the 1979 no-mint mark Lincoln cent, and why one of these recently fetched a jaw-dropping $745,000 at auction. So grab a cup of coffee, sit back, and let's talk pennies, because yours might just be worth a small fortune. Now, most of us have seen or handled the classic Lincoln penny. It's one of the most common coins in American history. First introduced in 1909 to celebrate Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday, the penny has remained virtually unchanged for over a century. But not all Lincoln pennies are created equal. One particular version from 1979 has collectors buzzing. The no-mint mark Lincoln cent. So what exactly is a no-mint mark penny? Let's break it down. When coins are minted, they usually carry a small letter indicating where they were produced. D for Denver, S for San Francisco. And if there's no letter at all, that means it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. The 1979 no-mint mark Lincoln cent looks like any other penny at first glance, but certain versions have rare errors or exceptional condition grades that make them extremely valuable to collectors. Coin collectors and dealers use a grading system to evaluate a coin's condition. A standard 1979 penny might only be worth face value, just 1 cent, but if your coin is in mint state, MS 68 or higher, meaning it has never been circulated, shows no signs of wear, and is virtually flawless, its value can skyrocket. One such 1979 Lincoln penny, graded as MS 67 plus red, was sold for an eye-watering $745,000 at auction. Now you might be wondering, why would anyone pay nearly $750,000 for a penny? The answer comes down to rarity and demand. Perfect condition coins are extremely hard to find, especially ones that have survived for over 4 decades without a scratch. Collectors will pay top dollar for these pristine specimens to complete their collections. If you want to check if you've got one of these gems, here's what to do. Look for the date, 1979. Check for the mint mark. If there's no letter under the date, it was minted in Philadelphia. Inspect the condition. Coins with scratches, dings, or discoloration are usually worth only a few cents. But if your coin looks sharp, shiny, and nearly brand new, you could be holding on to a high-value piece. And if you suspect your coin is in exceptional shape, send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC for certification. Even if your 1979 penny isn't worth $745,000. Many of these coins in average circulated condition still sell for $1 to $10 to collectors online, especially if they have minor errors or unique characteristics. If you've got other old coins lying around, it's worth taking a closer look. The world of coin collecting is full of surprises, and sometimes a simple penny can turn into serious money. And let me tell you, buyers are out there, and they're willing to pay top dollar for the right coin. So before you spend that old penny or let it sit forgotten in a jar, check it. You might be sitting on hidden treasure, and if you want help figuring out what your coins are worth, be sure to subscribe and leave me a comment or photo of your coin. I'd be happy to point you in the right direction. Is about a tiny piece of copper that could make you rich. The legendary 1969 Lincoln penny. That's right, one little penny, potentially worth up to $745,000. You heard that right. So stick around, because I'm going to break down why this coin is so special, how to spot one, and how you can cash in if you've got one hiding in your collection. The 1969 Lincoln penny might look like your ordinary 1-cent coin, but for collectors, it's a superstar. Minted in Denver, this penny features the classic portrait of President Abraham Lincoln on the front, and the Lincoln Memorial on the back. But here's the twist: not every 1969 penny is worth a fortune. The real gold mine lies in specific varieties, especially those with rare doubling errors. What's a double die error? It happens when the coin's design is accidentally stamped twice, slightly out of alignment. This creates a noticeable double image effect on the date and the word Liberty. If you spot this on your 1969 penny, congratulations, you could be sitting on a small fortune. In 2019, a 1969 Lincoln cent with a clean double die error and great condition sold at auction for an eye-popping $126,500. Some ultra-rare examples have crossed $300,000. And the highest reported collector price out there? A jaw-dropping $745,000 for an almost perfect, uncirculated specimen. Imagine finding that in your old coffee can or coin jar. Now here's the important part: not every 1969 penny is valuable. You must check for, and the D mint mark means it was made in Denver, one of the important markers for this coin. Use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe. Look closely at the date and lettering. Compare your coin with images of known double die examples online. If it looks promising, get it graded by a professional. PCGS or NGC are the gold standard. A graded, authentic 1969 double die penny could sell at auction for life-changing money. Go through those old jars, piggy banks, and drawers. Look in your inherited coin collections. The next 1969 treasure might be hiding right under your nose, and if you've got old coins sitting around, especially from the 1960s and 70s, it's time to check them. The market for rare coins is hotter than ever, with collectors paying huge sums for the right piece. If you want to sell, make sure you don't rush. A certified coin dealer or auction house is your best friend. Don't sell it for pennies, sell it for what it's really worth. We're talking about a small, simple penny that could turn out to be worth a fortune. Yes, you heard me right. A 1967 no mint mark Lincoln penny that's just 1 cent in face value. But one of these recently sold for a jaw-dropping $745,000 in the collector's market. Imagine turning a single penny into a small fortune. So let's dive in, and by the end of this video, you might just want to start checking your old coin jars. So, what makes this 1967 penny so special? Let's break it down. The Lincoln penny has been around since 1909, but the 1967 penny holds a unique place in history. In 1965, the U.S. Mint was struggling to keep up with coin production and faced a severe coin shortage. To speed things up, they temporarily removed mint marks from coins, meaning whether your penny came from Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco, it had no identifying mark. This practice lasted until 1968. Because of this, every 1967 penny has no mint mark. But not all of them are valuable. Only the rarest, in near-perfect condition, are worth a life-changing sum. Now here's the real question. Why would anyone pay over $700,000 for a single penny? The answer is two simple words: condition and rarity. If a 1967 Lincoln penny is in what collectors call mint state 67 red, MS 67 RD, meaning it's practically flawless, bright, and still shines like the day it was minted, it can be extremely valuable. Only a handful of coins meet this top-tier quality. Grading is a professional process where experts inspect a coin for scratches, wear, and imperfections. They grade it from poor P1 all the way up to perfect mint state, MS 70. A 1967 penny graded MS 65 might fetch a couple $100. But an MS 67 red or higher? That's where the big money rolls in. And if your penny has that perfect, untouched look, it could be worth a fortune. That's exactly what happened when one of these 1967 Lincoln pennies fetched $745,000 at auction. So how can you check if you're sitting on a hidden treasure? Look for the year, 1967. Make sure there's no mint mark under the date. That's correct for this coin. Inspect the condition. Is it shiny, scratch-free, with sharp edges and no wear? Get it professionally graded by a trusted service like PCGS or NGC. Even if your penny isn't worth six figures, some well-preserved ones can still bring in $100, $500, or even $1,000, all from a single coin. Collectors are always hunting for these rare finds, especially with the rise of online auctions and private sales. In the past few years, prices have skyrocketed as more people become interested in coin collecting, making now the perfect time to check your stash. Here's some quick advice if you're thinking of selling. Don't clean your coins. It lowers their value. Get them appraised by professionals. List them on trusted auction sites like Heritage Auctions or eBay for certified coins. Join coin collector groups online to learn what buyers are currently paying. So, there you have it. A tiny 1967 Lincoln penny could turn out to be the most valuable thing hiding in your coin jar or family drawer. It's a little piece of history, and for some lucky people, it's a golden ticket. Hello coin lovers, treasure hunters, and everyone hoping to turn pocket change into a small fortune. Welcome back to the channel where old coins tell new stories. Today's topic will leave you stunned. The humble 1986 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny. Yes, that tiny copper coin hiding in drawers and jars might be worth up to $745,000. Sounds unbelievable? Stick around, because I'll explain why this coin is so valuable, how to spot one, and what to do if you have one. First, let's clear up the basics. The 1986 Lincoln penny, featuring the iconic profile of President Abraham Lincoln, was minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. But here's the twist. Philadelphia minted coins usually don't carry a mint mark. So when people hear no mint mark, they often assume the coin is ordinary. But not all no mint mark 1986 pennies are created equal. The ones worth big money often have rare errors, unusual metal compositions, or extraordinary conditions. These are the true jackpot coins. Now you're probably asking, why $745,000? What makes one penny worth more than a luxury home? Great question. In the world of numismatics, that's the fancy word for coin collecting. It all boils down to one particular 1986 penny reportedly sold for a mind-blowing $745,000 due to a rare combination of a flawless condition, known as MS 68 or higher, and possibly an off-metal strike or unique error. These pennies can sometimes be struck on the wrong planchet or show extreme doubling on the design, making them valuable to collectors worldwide. Look for a no mint mark, which is normal for Philadelphia, but don't stop there. Examine the coin's surface under a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe. Check for unusual textures, misprints, or doubling, especially around the lettering and Lincoln's profile. Check the weight. The correct weight for a 1986 penny is 2.5 grams. If your penny weighs differently, it might have been struck on the wrong metal, which is incredibly rare and valuable. And finally, always consult a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC for an expert evaluation. If you think you've found a potential treasure, don't clean the coin. Cleaning can reduce the value. Place it in a soft plastic holder and take clear photos from both sides. Reach out to a local coin dealer or send it to a grading service. Even if it's not the legendary $745,000 penny, a well-kept 1986 no-mint mark penny can still fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars at auctions. So the next time you're cleaning out that old jar of coins, take a second look at those 1986 pennies. One tiny coin could change your life. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe for more hidden coin treasures. Drop a comment if you've got old coins you want to learn about. Your next big discovery could be just 1 penny away. We're talking about a small coin with a big story, the 1979 D Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny. Some versions of this little coin are making headlines, and believe it or not, one rare specimen sold for an eye-watering $745,000 at auction. So grab your coffee, get comfortable, and let's dive into the details that could turn your pocket change into a fortune. First, let's set the stage. In 1979, the U.S. Mint in Denver, that's where the D Mint mark comes from, struck billions of these Lincoln pennies. At first glance, the classic Lincoln portrait on the front, the Lincoln Memorial on the back, and the small D under the date. Most people think, it's just a penny. But numismatics, that's the fancy word for coin collecting, is all about the details. What makes some of these coins special isn't their age or face value, but minting errors, unique characteristics, and rarity. So, why on earth would anyone pay $745,000 for a single penny? The answer: rare errors and condition. Some 1979 D Lincoln pennies were struck with minting mistakes that make them extremely valuable to collectors. Here are a few to watch for. White heavy checkmark double die errors, where parts of the design appear doubled. White heavy checkmark off-center strikes, where the coin wasn't aligned properly when struck. White heavy checkmark high-grade condition, coins graded MS67 and above by professional services like PCGS or NGC are ultra-rare. When a flawless or error-filled 1979 D penny appears at an auction, collectors open their wallets wide, especially if it's been professionally graded and authenticated. One such coin, in perfect condition with a rare error, fetched an unbelievable $745,000. Imagine that, a single penny paying off your mortgage. Make sure your penny has a small D under the year 1979 on the front. Use a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe to spot doubling, cracks, or off-center designs. Coins without scratches, dents, or discoloration are worth more. The closer it looks to freshly minted, the better. If you spot something promising, consider sending your coin to a reputable grading company like PCGS or NGC. A small investment here can help you unlock the true value of your coin. Right now, the coin collecting world is booming. Collectors are paying top dollar for rare pennies, especially those from the Lincoln series. The 1979 D Lincoln penny, especially with errors or high grades, is one of the most hunted coins today. Even if yours isn't the $745,000 jackpot, some versions can still bring in hundreds or even thousands of dollars. So before you cash in that old coffee can full of pennies at the bank, check them first. And there you have it, the story of how a humble 1979 D Lincoln penny could change your life. If you've got old coins sitting around, it's time to dig them out and check. Suri talking about a coin that's got everyone buzzing, the 2008 Lincoln No Mint Mark penny. Some reports claim it could be worth as much as $745,000. That's right, one single cent could turn into a small fortune. But is that true? And could you be holding one? Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for. Let's start with the basics. The 2008 Lincoln penny is part of the last batch before the U.S. Mint switched to the 2009 commemorative designs for Lincoln's bicentennial dot on the front. You'll see the familiar face of Abraham Lincoln. The reverse shows the Lincoln Memorial, a design that ran from 1959 until 2008. Most of these pennies were minted by the Philadelphia Mint, meaning they have no mint mark, or the Denver Mint, which uses a little D mark under the date. The no mint mark variety is actually common, but here's the twist: it's not the mint mark alone that makes these pennies valuable. It's rare errors, condition, and unique features that drive collectors wild. So where does that jaw-dropping $745,000 price tag come from? Now you're probably wondering, how do you check if you've got one of these valuable coins? Here's a quick checklist. Look at the date and mint mark. If your penny is from 2008 and has no mint mark, that's your first step. But remember, this alone doesn't make it valuable. Inspect for errors. Use a magnifying glass to look for double images on Lincoln's face or lettering. This is known as a double die error. Evaluate the condition. If the coin looks shiny, with no scratches, dents, or discoloration, it could be considered mint state. The higher the grade, the more valuable. For high-value sales, you'll want to have it professionally graded, and always compare your coin to verified photos from auction houses or trusted coin dealers. Now let's talk about selling. If you think you've got a valuable 2008 no mint mark Lincoln penny, briefcase 1. Get it graded, send it to PCGS or NGC for certification. Adult briefcase 2. Consult with dealers. Trusted coin shops or auction houses like Heritage Auctions can give you expert advice. Laptop computer 3. Online listings. You can also check recent sales on eBay to get a sense of market value. Most circulated 2008 pennies sell for 1 cent to $5 unless they are graded MS67 plus or show a rare error. High-end sales, sometimes in the thousands or more, are usually from coins that are almost perfect. So, is your 2008 penny worth $745,000? Maybe, but only if you've hit the rare jackpot with an error or ultra-high condition. But even if not, hunting for these hidden treasures can be a fun and profitable hobby. If you've got a jar of old coins, now's the time to take a second look. And if you love learning about coins, their history, and their value, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss out on money-making coin tips. We have a topic that could change the way you look at your coin collection, especially if you're holding on to any old pennies. If you have a 2014 D mint mark Abraham Lincoln 1 cent penny, you might be sitting on a small fortune worth up to $745,000. Yes, you heard that right, $745,000. Stay tuned to find out why this penny is so valuable, and how you can cash in on its worth. So, what makes this penny worth $745,000? Well, there are a few important details you need to know. This rare penny is a minting error, and that's what drives its high value. What happened was that a small number of 2014 D pennies were accidentally struck with a double die error, meaning that the image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, the front, of the penny was stamped twice, slightly overlapping. This double die error is very rare, and when it happens, it's usually not obvious unless you look closely. But when you spot it, it makes the coin highly sought after by collectors. And that's where the value skyrockets. A coin like this in good condition can be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, with some examples reaching up to $745,000. Now you might be wondering, how do you know if your 2014 D penny is one of these rare, valuable coins? Well, don't worry, I've got you covered. There are a few key things to look for that will tell you if your penny is the real deal. First, inspect the date and the lettering on the coin closely. The most obvious sign of the double die error is when you see the doubling effect on the year 2014, or on the words "In God We Trust" and "Liberty." If the letters look blurry or doubled, that's a good sign. Check out the image of Abraham Lincoln. If you notice a blurry or ghost-like doubling in his profile, then you might have a real gem on your hands. But why is this coin worth so much money? The answer lies in rarity and demand. While millions of 2014D pennies were made, the double die errors are incredibly rare. Only a few were released into circulation, and fewer still have survived in good enough condition to be sold for such high prices. Scene: graphic showing the rarity of the error coin, with comparison to normal pennies. When a coin is as rare as this one, collectors go crazy for it. There are coin enthusiasts and investors who are willing to pay top dollar to add a rare error coin to their collection. The fact that these error pennies were struck in the Denver Mint and made it into circulation just makes the story even more fascinating. Now you're probably wondering, where can I sell my coin if I find one? The market for rare error coins is strong right now. The most famous auction houses have sold these pennies for upwards of $700,000, and the value keeps climbing as more collectors realize how rare they are. Clips of coin auction websites showing past sales of rare pennies for hundreds of thousands of dollars. Recently, some of these coins have been sold at major auction houses for impressive sums. Some lucky collectors have walked away with nearly $745,000 for their 2014D double die error penny. If you find one in pristine condition, you could be looking at a similar payout. Alright, so you've found your 2014D penny. How do you sell it and get top dollar? The first thing you should do is take it to a professional coin grader. A reputable coin grading service like PCGS or NGC can determine the condition of your coin and assign it a grade. Coins that are graded in high condition, especially those with no wear and tear, are worth a lot more than coins with visible damage. Once your coin is graded, you can sell it through a trusted coin dealer or even at a public auction. Make sure to research the best options for selling rare coins in your area. So, there you have it. The 2014D Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny could be worth a small fortune if you have one with a double die error. Keep your eyes peeled, check those pennies, and don't throw away any coins that look a little different. You could be holding on to something worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. First, let's get into the history behind the 1988 Lincoln 1-cent penny. As many of you know, pennies have been a staple of American currency since the late 1800s. But what makes the 1988 penny so extraordinary, aside from being a symbol of daily life for decades, is the absence of the mint mark. Now, typically, pennies produced in the US come with a mint mark, indicating whether they were made in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. In 1988, something extremely rare happened. Some pennies were struck without a mint mark, despite being produced at the Philadelphia Mint. But how did this happen? Well, it's believed to be a production error, a small mistake that wasn't noticed until later when collectors started to take note. Now, before you rush off to check every penny in your collection, let's be clear. This 1988 no mint mark Lincoln penny is very rare and extremely valuable. Not every 1988 penny is worth a fortune, far from it. But if yours is a no mint mark error, it could fetch you a small fortune. In fact, some of these pennies have sold for as much as $745,000 in recent auctions. Yes, you heard that right, a penny worth nearly $750,000. People have been flocking to auctions, with serious buyers willing to pay top dollar for one of these rare finds. The coin's value has skyrocketed, not just because of its rarity, but also because of the historical era it represents. So, what should you be looking for? Well, the first thing to check is the lack of a mint mark. Normally, you'd find a D4 Denver or S4 San Francisco. But on this special 1988 penny, the space where the mint mark should be is just empty. That's the key indicator. Another thing to check for: condition. A penny that's been in circulation for decades might not be in mint condition, but the closer it is to pristine, meaning minimal wear, no scratches, and a clean surface, the more valuable it becomes. Even the slightest imperfections can lower its worth, but if your penny is in near-perfect shape, you're in luck. Now, I know many of you watching might have some old coins tucked away, perhaps coins passed down from parents or grandparents. If you're wondering whether you should hold on to them or sell them, here's the advice you've been waiting for. Always check for rare variations, especially for pennies like the 1988 no mint mark Lincoln. Don't be afraid to get your collection appraised. There are professionals who specialize in rare coins and can help you identify what you've got. And hey, if you have a 1988 penny without a mint mark, you could be looking at a life-changing windfall. And don't forget, it's not just about pennies. Many coins from the 20th century, especially those with errors, misprints, or rare characteristics, can be worth a lot more than you think. From old dimes to quarters and nickels, there are valuable coins hiding in plain sight in your collection. If you're serious about selling your coins, I highly recommend visiting a reputable coin dealer or even checking out online auction sites. Websites like eBay and other specialized auction houses have regular listings for rare coins, and you can get a good idea of what the market price looks like. So, if you've got that 1988 no mint mark Lincoln penny, or any other potentially valuable coins, don't let them sit in a drawer collecting dust. Do your research, get them appraised, and who knows? You might just strike it rich.